What's up, guys? This is B-Side Investing. Welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to cover HUT8 mining. They just released their earnings today, this morning, and we'll go over that. So first what we'll do is we'll check out BTC price. Currently it's at 44.5. I know it has dropped a few $1,000 since we hit a high of about 46.7. And it went down 43.7. So it dropped 3K in a matter of what, 1 day? About 1 day, yeah. That's fine. I mean, we did kind of jump pretty big. We made a huge jump from 37.3 all the way to 46.7. So that's almost $10,000 jump in about a week. So I mean, a little pullback, a little consolidation doesn't really hurt us. I mean, we know the long picture, the long game. We know the end goal for this year, and the day-to-day stuff honestly doesn't really matter. So if you're looking too much into day-to-day, I don't really have much for you to offer you guys in terms of like price prediction, because it's Bitcoin. Like literally anything can happen. Elon Musk could tweet something and then boom, it'll go up or down depending on the nature of the tweet. Someone or a government, China, like anything could happen, and it would reflect the daily price of Bitcoin. So like I said, the daily price prediction is kind of unrealistic to do. If someone's claiming to do it, like, please just take it with a grain of salt, be careful, and always have the end goal in mind. And yeah, so currently this is just before closing today. So okay, so it's closing now, so it's past 4 o'clock right now. We did take a huge drop, obviously, because Bitcoin did drop. What was it, 3K? So this is kind of expected. We did jump a bit, like a lot. Like if you look here, within 3 weeks, we did double here. So 346 all the way to 718. Now this is the Nasdaq stock that I'm looking at, because this does give us the after hours price action. So it's up 0.5%. So that's nice. All right. Huge like deal with their earnings release right now. Before going forward, I just want to say I am invested in HUT8. So this may be partial to HUT, but honestly, this is not the company that I really love. Like, it's Bitfarms. So HUT8, it's top there, but it's not the one that I'm really like, yeah, this is it. Like if you just check the financials, not really the financials, but the HODL and the hash rate, I really just go off that and how the companies are operating and all that stuff. So Bitfarms is closer to me. I'm in Toronto, and Bitfarms is kind of operating in Quebec rather, and HUT8 is like all the way in Alberta, near Calgary, that area. So it's a little further away from me. So yeah, so comparatively, you can see they do HODL a lot more. So HUT8 does HODL 4240, updated as of today from their Twitter account, because they do actively update their kind of just let's see here. They are very active on Twitter. So this is 7 hours ago, and they pinned it. And if you see here, quarterly revenue of $33 million, and about 4240 HODL, and that's on balance. The market value for the Bitcoin is $245 million, which is ridiculous. And about 2025 Bitcoin expected per day. That's prediction by Q4. So that's like saying the current network problem, it's like the hash rate, it's gonna be the same, which it's gonna be tough to say, but we'll see what happens. Q4, it's still a long ways out. We still have a few more months to go, so anything can happen then. So yeah, they are expecting 2.5 to 3 exahash by this Q4, so end of year, and another 6 exahash goal mid 2022. Sorry. Now this, believe the order hasn't been placed yet, and we don't know the details of it. I'm pretty sure they're probably working on it. working really hard to find the deal. So, and they did they did find a really great deal for this target here. The delivery and the schedule for this one, really good pricing. They got really good miners in there. So, and yeah, so Bitfarm, you can also see they have the 8 exahash goal by Q4 of 2022. Now this, I already know that they have placed the order and everything is in place. This is going into the Argentina facility, which is being developed and will be ready by Q1, and delivery will start once the place is ready, and it'll be in Argentina. So yeah, not much of an improvement in Quebec, but Argentina facility is kind of the main location for these miners that are coming in between 3 and 8 exahash. So that's 5 total extra exahash by within just 1 year. So you never know, they could add more. So fingers crossed, right? So okay, getting into HUT, I'm showing you this portfolio because I am invested in HUT and Bitfarm and other Canadian miners because, you know, just metrics, it just makes sense. And with the upward trajectory and potential of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general, it just makes sense mathematically and sound investing wise. It just makes sense for me to invest in the crypto miners. So I am invested in HUT. Like I said, I have 190 shares here. I do own more shares outside of this portfolio. This portfolio is part of my $100,000 challenge. So from 1,000 to 100K. Currently we're sitting at 7,092. We did go up all the way to about 74. So if you look at the week projection, it will be much more clear. So we hit a high of 76.20, which is pretty big, with just a net deposit of about less than $4,000. So I think this today we didn't really do that great, so we're down 5%. That's what's taken us back. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. We did have a really good week and a half, 2 weeks. So we'll take a little pullback. It doesn't really matter. I've been in worse situation than this. So performance wise, we're doing really good, 70% and up $3,000. So okay, let's get on with this video. So with the HUT8, their earnings, let's see here. Okay. So HUT8 achieves consecutive record level quarterly revenue in Q2. So they did really good in Q1 because Bitcoin price did jump crazy. So now Q2, they're also now carrying this momentum forward. So really amazing. Okay. So their inventory and value, they are still practicing the HODL strategy. So they're gonna generate the Canadian dollar and US dollar to kind of pay for their operating expenses so as to avoid selling any Bitcoin. And they're going to do that through loaning out Bitcoin, and they will yield fiat. So based on what percentage they kind of agree on with their partner or whatever, probably is going to be like 3-4%, which is still a lot considering it's like 2,000 Bitcoin. So yeah, so the company total balance as of June 30. Well, June 30 doesn't, it's not up to date. You guys are going to get mixed up, so I'm not going to say the June 30 numbers because I already have the current up-to-date numbers of 4240 BTC HODL for HUT8 and 1.37 exahash of hash rate for Bitcoin only. This is not the GPU for Ethereum as well. So this is just the hash rate for Bitcoin. And even with Hive, they do have a lot more hash rate if you compare both, combine both for Ethereum mining and Bitcoin mining. But I'm just doing Bitcoin mining here because this is the main focus of this chart and this Excel sheet here. So yeah, I did color code it. It's a refresh color code. So the green is kind of confirmed as of today. The yellow are impending deliveries, and the blue color is their end goal. So yeah, so like Marathon, they just updated their end goal target for Q2 2022 by another 3 exahash, Their previous end goal was 10 exahash, 10.3 is 7 exahash. So that's why it's in yellow right now, because they're going even more further out. So yeah. And okay, so moving on. Okay, they did update it right here, 4240 Bitcoin. So total value of $245 million. Jesus, I'm like going all over the place. Okay, so hash rate 1.37 exahash. We kind of went through that. So if you include the hash rate for their pending order for the GPU, the Ethereum miners, which will be including about 1600 gigahash equivalent, bringing both combined to approximately 2.7 exahash in terms of Bitcoin mining. So kind of gives you like an idea of where they're sitting at, because not many other companies do both Ethereum and Bitcoin mining. So there's Hive and then HUT here, and I think that's the only one, because the other companies mine other crypto and not Ethereum. So yeah, and who knows how long Ethereum mining could be profitable, right? I mean, with the AIP 1559 and the new ETH 2.0, which would be coming up, so maybe a couple years until that will be profitable. So we'll see. So based on current network dynamics, which is saying that it'll stay the same at around 110 exahash total network for Bitcoin mining. So it will mine about 20 to 25 Bitcoin per day. I believe this is expected per day in Q4, not this year. So it doesn't say that here, but yeah, just to clarify. So we'll go through we'll go through Q2 highlights, and then I'll go briefly through the financials, and that's about it. I mean, there's not much to say here, right? I mean, that's after that, I'll just give you like a little thought, and we'll end the video right there. So, okay, so second consecutive record month, quarter, sorry. Hitting $33.5 million in Q2, and self-mining of about $31.4 million in revenue, and hosting of $2.2 million. So they mined 553 Bitcoin in Q2, which is a lot, but I think they didn't take the advantage. Well, it's all timely stuff. The Chinese exodus of miners that happened in the later portion of Q2 and beginning of Q3. So Q3 we will see another record month, another record quarter, another record quarterly revenue. I believe most likely, if it's 33.5 million here, actually I'll just go by mined, because this number is based on Bitcoin price, and Bitcoin price is fluctuating each month. So they mined 553 Bitcoin in Q2. I will say they probably will mine about, if all else stays the same and the network hash rate stays the same, I will say about another 50%. So another 700. So they'll do about 770 to 80 Bitcoin mined in Q3. So we'll see if we're right, but it'll be about 50% additional Bitcoin mined, so which is a lot. I mean, yeah. So we'll look at the highlight here. The next highlight is the NASDAQ listing, obviously. Now, they are the first TSX listed miner to be on NASDAQ, and also the NASDAQ Global Select Market, so which is a higher tier, which is kind of like the highest tier, I think. And it kind of gives them access to substantially increased pool of investors for both future capital raise and providing improved liquidity to current and future shareholders. So that's a plus right there. So, and I believe Marathon and Riot are just beneath that level. So it says a lot about HUT8 and other Canadian miners too. So yeah. So let's see. So they did a public offering on June 15. So they raised about $115 million, and that provides flexibility, of course, when the market is uncertain, and they also get to buy more and at a better price. Like I said, they did that I think it was June 15th. They bought almost 12,000 micro BT M30S line and the M31S miners from micro BT, which gave them an additional 1.08 exahash. So that's contributing to that 2.5 to 3 exahash goal by let's see here, by Q4. Okay, so the next is they also purchased high performance NVIDIA CMP GPU miners to mine Ethereum, and looks like they are going to mine Ethereum and settle in Bitcoin. So they're just gonna convert it to Bitcoin after. So the NVIDIA chips are going to be delivered through August and September 2021. So looks like this month and next month, and will consume only 3.5 to 4 megawatt of power, which is a lot, but it's not as much as Bitcoin mining, while operating at approximately 1600 gigahash, and will anticipate settlement in Bitcoin of about 2 to 3 Bitcoin per day, which would give about 100 to 120,000, $240,000 range if Bitcoin fluctuates between $30,000 and $45,000. It's a lot of money. Let's see here. So investment, they did the PPA, the power purchase agreement with Validus Power Corp, and they currently have the, let's see here. So that's the power supply for the NVIDIA GPU miners. So let's look like, the transformer is ready, and that's being installed right there. So that was yesterday. So so that's kind of an advantage if you're an investor just looking to invest in HUT8. You can follow the company's Twitter if they're active on Twitter, and you can get these up-to-date, timely information, so you know what they're up to and the deliveries and everything that's happening. So the Canadian miners are really good with. So I follow Bitfarms, DigiHost. I'm not sure about DigiHost, but I know HUT8 and Hive and Bitfarms are really good with updating right there. So really active on Twitter. Okay, so this PPA is for 5 years, and the compelling, they have a power rate of about 2.7 cents, Jesus, per kilowatt. That's really low. So they also launched several ESG related initiatives. So robust recycling program to limit volumes sent to landfills. So they also installed the low emission LED lightings throughout the facility, and also they looks like they adopted going EV with their on-site fleet of vehicles, which I'm sure it's not as many, but it's a good investment, and really keeps the green initiative going forward. I feel like Bitcoin miners, pretty much in general, they're more green conscious because they have to save. They have to how do you put this? Like, they have to be ESG they have to be proactive with these things because they have to look at future outlook, because they are going to be using so much power that they need to have that conscience of mining ethically and environmentally friendly. They're using so much power, and I think Bitcoin mining industry is probably is the leading industry in green initiative and adopting these technologies. And countries and states and towns that kind of accept these companies in their place will kind of get that advantage too, because they're going to get these facilities built in their towns and states or province. So really really advantageous. It's kind of like a symbiotic relationship, because that town or province or state will get the infrastructure kind of paid for, because they'll be using so much power that they need huge projects, just huge facilities there, and it could be replicated throughout the province or state if they do it right, and it's really advantageous. So okay, right, so moving on. So look at the financials, right? They have $92 million in cash, digital assets of about $166 million. So total assets combined, they have $362 million. Liabilities, meaning infrastructure cost, leasing, electricity cost, and all those things, netting about $14.3 million. So that's as of. Okay, so we see the revenue of $33 million in Q2 versus $9.2 million in prior year. And let's see, we went through that. And okay, see here that they mined 553 Bitcoin in Q2 and 795 Bitcoin in Q2 of last year. That's because the network, we did have the halving event, so it's going to be tougher to mine more Bitcoin. That's why you see Q2 of last year have about 800 Bitcoin mined and about 553 Bitcoin mined here. Of course, the price is obviously increased of Bitcoin, so if they held that, that's obviously going to be more like worth. It's obviously worth more, so that's what I meant to say. So right, so hosting service, they made $2.2 million right there. Site operation cost for Q2 was about 13.8. Now Q2, they also obviously did the PPA, so that's kind of adding to the cost right there. So that's with the Validus Power Corp. And let's see, previous year was $9.2 million, and substantial increase in average hash rate as well as. Okay, so that's the reason why, is because also Alberta power price also increased a bit. Net loss in Q2 was $20 million, and net income. Okay, so year over year, I know it is a net loss, but they're mining more. They have more infrastructure. They have more miners coming in. They're increasing their power plant, so there's more infrastructure being built, and a few minus net loss of $20 million is not really much compared to what they already hodl. So asset to liability ratio is way higher, so not worry about these numbers. Right, and let's see, self-mined, blah blah blah. I think that's about it. Yeah, custody. Yeah, that's it. That's another project. And HUT8, if we look into the American stock, okay, refresh. Okay, not refreshing. Okay, anyways, hopefully, you guys learned something or took something away from this the earning analysis. I know I didn't do too much into the numbers, getting too much into them, because you don't really need to look in too much into there, because it's not really necessary. I mean, if you want to do it, that's fine, but I think I kind of have a grasp of the company, and we already know what's coming in. The GPU miners, the 1 exahash that's coming in by Q4. So these things will be more important. So yeah, and the Bitcoin price, obviously. So currently at 44.4. So yeah, I would say based on current metrics, what is it valued at? Let's see, it's valued at just under $1 billion US. So still long ways from companies like Marathon and Riot. So $3.3 billion, and the hash rate is not that far off. and the HODL is also not that far off. So it shouldn't. At least 2 billion is a good spot. So if you go to Riot, they're at 3.5 billion, and yeah, no way. It's not the earnings per share is ridiculous. Yeah, comparatively, the Canadian miners are just way undervalued. So consider that. I mean, do your own research, of course. These numbers, check them out. Put them in your analysis, whatever you have to, make your own decisions. Check out their Twitter account as well. I mean, they update kind of regularly. They do every day, I think. Let's see. August 11, 10, August 10, August 10, August 9. So yeah, every day they kind of post something. So as an investor, that's kind of like the best situation, right? Like company that is keeping their investors up to date. So what more can you ask with them? So anyways, I'm really excited about HUT8's future. Currently, we are still ways from the high of 2021. They had about, I think it was February 12, February 13 that they hit a high of $15. So we're sitting at about $8. So that's roughly what? We still have another 45% more to go. But generally, like with the way that Bitcoin price is heading up, really, really bright future for HUT8 and the rest of the Canadian miners, and obviously the American miners as well. So I think that's it for this one. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.